What's up, LA Sparks fans? It is LA Sparks Weekly here with Mike Hill and DJ Tracy Treese here inside of the Crypto.com arena this afternoon for a big day, DJ.
Yep.
The real CP3.
Absolutely.
Candace Parker is getting her jersey retired. It's going to be up in the rafters with all the greats. A big moment for the franchise, a huge moment for Candace Parker. Just what's the feeling tonight? Because the energy is different tonight, man.
Michael, I laid my clothes out last night. I got up, I had an early breakfast, I ate my Wheaties.
Okay.
I was in the building at like 10 o'clock in the morning. Everybody was seeing me post on Instagram about it. I'm excited. I saw the practice for it. I listened to the people singing. I'm about to be emotional, not going to be a dry eye in the building. If you are a real Sparks fan, Candace Parker, you know how much she meant to our franchise, how much she meant to the WNBA, how much she meant to Adidas basketball as we rocking a little bit of Adidas right here, right? So I think the vibes are good. You see the T-shirts everywhere. Crypto.com is going to be rocking tonight.
And that's special because the WNBA is sponsored by Nike.
Yeah.
But they said we got to show love to our one, Candace Parker, the only one to win MVP, Rookie of the Year the same year.
Yep.
We got a shirt here.
Her whole resume.
The resume, as you can see, Candace Parker. We showing love to her tonight. So kudos to Candace, one of the greatest women that ever played the game.
Period.
One of the greatest basketball players
of all time.
Period, to ever do it. And now she's a great on TV.
Yeah.
Shout out to Candace. We're going to have to tap in for y'all. She a friend of the show, I promise you.
Yes.
But it's a basketball game that's going to be played as well
I got a lot to say about this game.
The Sparks are coming off of a win. They knocked off the Fever. Trying to make it 2 straight. They got the Sky. They third matchup already. Like, WNBA, what y'all doing?
I already talked to Kathy. Please go to my Instagram for them videos.
Okay,
Because it's crazy. The schedule is insane. But, Michael, we were up by 18 the last time we played the Chicago Sky. Tonight, they don't have Camila Cardozo, who actually went crazy. But we need to watch out for Rachel Banham. We need to watch out for Angel Reese. We talked about Cardozo ain't there to get them rebounds, but Miss Mebound is in the building. Angel Reese is here. We got to make sure we clean the glass, play with that same energy and intensity that we've been playing with. And I think the Sparks are going to take home this victory, but we have to win today. Yeah, I want to see the guard play perform well. Like Kelsey Plum was able to finish strong against the Fever to pick up that win. Odyssey Sims returns. That's lovely. You want to see their wing players play because they need to be peaked for this team to be successful. You see De'Erica behind me. Of course, she got a ball. She's going to be dealing with Miss Mebound. So it's going to be a fun game, but it's going to be a tough one. But I hope the Sparks are ready for it. 3-point shooting. We heard in the presser from Coach, when they win, they shoot 40% from 3. When they lose, they shoot 30. What can the team do to get some 3-point shots that they can knock down? I think Coach nailed it. You have to move the ball. If you're just creating a 3-pointer for yourself, that's statistically not a good 3-point shot. She said she wants the ball to touch the paint first and then kick it out for the 3-point. Come on, put Shea Petty out there. Put Azurá Stevens out there. We got so many people who can hit it, spot up from 3. I'm looking forward to shooting Chicago's lights out tonight.
Yeah, and they're going to need it because it's going to be tough inside even without Cardozo being there. It's going to be a fun game. I'm so excited. Everybody's excited. This energy is the best it's been all season.
It's a vibe.
So it's going to be lit. But, hey, before we go, we always do our player of the game. But we got a special guest. Our girl, fellow correspondent, Jovan is here. Jovan, who do you think is going to help this team win?
Thanks, Michael. Tonight we got the Sparks versus the Sky, and my pick, who you guys gotta look out for, is Azurá Stevens. They played against the Sky, and she scored 21 points. I don't think she's gonna let up again, especially as Candace Parker jersey retirement night. I want her to show off for the Sparks and let the Sky know who she is and what they're working with. But back to you guys, Michael and DJ.
Hey, so we just heard from Jovan. She said Azurá Stevens, which I know you like that pick. She said she is needed to ball out for the team to win. What you feel about that?
Jovan is right. We must be on the same frequency because Azurá Stevens has a lot on the line today. She is a past Chicago Sky, champion with the Chicago Sky. We got a lot on the line, so this is a little bit of a rivalry almost. A little bit of a legacy game for Azurá. I got her going at least 20 points, at least 5 rebounds, and at least 5 assists. She gonna have, I don't want to say a double-double just yet, a little bit, but Azurá Stevens is going crazy today, y'all.
She's gonna perform well. She's gonna ball out. For me, it's gonna be KP. I think KP, she here. Where the lights are brightest. She came to LA to be the star of this team. this is one of those games where a lot of people are here. We already feel the energy.
Yeah.
You see the big names that are going to be pulling up. So I think KP is going to show up. We might see a 30-piece from KP
I would love
tonight.
that.
She might
30
come
plus
out for the
Azure
jump.
20.
Hey, I mean a dub,
That's a dub.
which the team needs, especially in this game.
Yeah.
Candice Parker night, baby. We got to hold this up one more time. Hold that
With the
thing
whole
up.
resume on
It is
it.
Candice Parker Day here with the Sparks, and I believe that they find a way to win this game.
That's right.
Hey, Michael, DJ Treats, LA Sparks Weekly. We see you guys after the game.
Candice, it's so great to see you in this moment. I had a chance to talk to you when you first went to Chicago. We talked about Jay-Z. So I'm going to start that off because, you know, Jay-Z came out with the Black Album, and that was his retirement, and then he came back. So maybe not you coming back, but what about, like, is there anything in the future with maybe ownership or coaching or anything like that for you?
100%. I'm super grateful for playing the game for as long as I was able to play, but I know the game prepared me for this phase of life, and so for sure I want to be in an ownership position, but I also want to continue to impact the game, you know, in this side. So doing that alongside Adidas has been super special for me as the president of women's basketball, so I think continuing that, and then talking about the game, like I'm sitting in y'all's seats, which is cool.
Hey Candice.
What's up?
How you doing?
Good.
First of all, congratulations. And then I want to ask you this too, with your jersey being retired today in Los Angeles and then later on in Chicago, and you talk about impacting women's basketball, how do you feel that would continue to help you impact? And also, what Jay-Z song or album would best describe this moment for you?
First of all, I love that you guys continue to know that I still am obsessed with Jay-Z. You know, I think it's just, you know, seeing the three in the rafters where I first picked up the ball and where it's home now is incredible. And I think it just is, you know, about dreams and opportunity and all those things. You look where the WNBA is right now. I know there's going to be others alongside me. So I hope that that inspires, you know, those little girls out there. And then I think the Jay-Z song that describes right now is probably the Frank Sinatra remix, I Did It My Way. Yeah.
Right here.
Hey Candice, DJ from LA Sparks Weekly. You talked about picking up the ball the same place that you first picked it up. What would you tell yourself that first day that you picked up the ball and today getting your jersey in the rafters?
I mean, what's possible? I think I represent coming from a family that told me I could do and be anything. And so I think it's just, I'm really proud of, you know, the kid. I think I would do it exactly the same because I think that's why I'm sitting here. So I've made mistakes, taking 2 steps forward, 1 back, but it's always just forward motion. So that's what I would tell her.
John W. Davis with Southern California News Group. Nice to see you again.
Great to see you.
From your perspective, why do you feel like it's appropriate that the first WNBA jersey that you have retired that goes up in the rafters is this Sparks one in comparison to any other one? Because I know you won championships other places, but this is where you started.
Well, like I said, I mean, when I got drafted out here, it's become home. I've lived here longer than I've lived anywhere else. And so it's super important for me to be able to see this jersey in the rafters before any of the other ones, because I think my 13 years here were super special. You know, it was ups, downs, wins, losses, heartbreaks, rewards, but I think it's just super special to be able to share that with the teammates and coaches and organization that, you know, bet on me, picked me first in 2008 WNBA draft. That was a long time ago.
Second row, right there will be the last question. We got to go.
Hi Candice, UST Annenberg Media, Dominique Williams. You know, I've seen a lot of interviews of you talk about before you came to the WNBA, it was such a long league, and how you were in college, you had to eat Papa John's before a game. And now, all these years later, your jersey's about to be retired. Where the game of WNBA is at, how did you feel like you're leaving it, but also just seeing how all the other players are now able to benefit from all the endorsements too?
Well, first, the only thing I'm salty about is the chartered flights. That's the only thing that I'm like, I pressed send on the Instagram post, retired, and then all of a sudden Kathy wants to say there's chartered flights. So a little salty about that, no, but I think where the game is just the next, picking it up and taking it to where it needs to go, leaving it better than you came into it. And I know I had vets and Lisa Leslie, who's here today. Cheryl Miller was a huge inspiration for me, and I think she laid the foundation to where the league is playing and athleticism and the style of play. And so to see where women's sports is, I think as a society we should be proud, because I think we need women in leadership positions, and that's the best way to do it, through sport and giving it a chance. So I think the proud vet and retiree in me is looking at the game super excited, and now I can honestly say, you know, I can tell my kids that, you know, as a little girl, little boy, like, you can dream it and you can do it and accomplish it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey, Coach. So, despite not getting off to such a great road trip, you know, you guys kind of ended it off on a high note with a win there. I know KP said that, you know, in that last game she felt like you guys grew up a little bit.
Yeah.
What did you see, I guess, you know, towards the end of the trip, especially in that game, and how do you think, you know, where do you feel like this team is at, you know, in terms of, you know, what you want to see out there?
Yeah, I think KP was right. I think we did grow up a little bit. The trip was tough. I thought we played Minnesota well, and then, you know, they know how to win, and we're still learning. And you know, they kind of went on a mad run there the last 3 minutes, and so that was a learning experience. And then Chicago, we were up 18, I think, something like that. And then, you know, learning experience again. And I think the players we're sick of it in terms of the mentality, and you know, it's a very different mindset to play to win versus playing not to lose. And I tell them that all the time. When you have a lead, you've got to play to win, not try to lose it. And I thought we did that in Chicago. We got stagnant, we got slow, the pace stopped, and that just puts pressure on your offense to make shots. So, you know, I think they were fed up with being this close in so many games, and the difference was I could feel there was a different vibe. They were way more connected. There wasn't panic. You know, we were down 10 with 9 minutes to go, but to be completely candid, I didn't realize we were down that much in the fourth until I watched the game back on the plane. Like, it just didn't feel like there wasn't that panic. We executed down the stretch, and I think we needed that, not just the win, but the way we won. So we've got to now stack it. We've got to, you know, that's something that we haven't been thus far, is super consistent, and we've got to do that now.
Coach Anthony DeLeon, LA Times. You get Odyssey Sims back today. What is the game plan with her as far as putting her in? Is she starting? Is there a minutes restriction, or is it kind of a full go?
It's a full go. We're thrilled to have her back, and she's chomping at the bit to get out there. She's not going to start. I think, you know, yesterday was her first time back with the team in practice, so, you know, hopefully she gets her sea legs back pretty quickly. But you know, and I also, so we're going to bring her off the bench, and I think her limitations will just be her fitness and, you know, kind of her flow, right? But there is no minutes restriction from like a medical standpoint or anything like that. So we're thrilled to have her back. We've missed that kind of defensive perimeter player, and you know, she's one of the best in the league at that. So thrilled that she's back.
Hey Coach, DJ, LA Sparks Weekly. Last time you matched up with Chicago, we were talking about second chance points and rebounds.
Girl.
No Cardoso today, but we got Miss Me Bounds from the Chicago Sky. So what's the game plan around like really protecting the paint and making sure that we get those second chance points for rebounds?
Yeah, it's yes, and Cardoso changes them. She's just so big, and they run really good stuff for her. Excuse me. But, you know, Angel Reese is unbelievable on the rebounds, and you can talk about it, and you can watch it, and you can drill it. There's no way to duplicate it to prepare. She's just elite, and, you know, her motor is so high, and I have a lot of respect for her as a competitor. You know, that's just desire, and you know, she knows how to do it, and she's super physical, and you know, so what's the game plan? try not to let her get as many as she did last time. You have to meet her early, you have to make the first hit. I think that's the big thing. You can't just turn and feel like, oh, I have position, so therefore I can get it, because she'll beat you to it. So we've got to make that first hit. But it's also a collective effort. If we get into rotations and it's a guard down there, Kelsey Plum or Shea Petty, then that's a mismatch. So the key there too in rebounding is trying not to get in too many defensive rotations where we're mismatched.
We'll go to Jill on your left, first row.
2 questions for you. What do you hope your team gets out of both Candace Parker's career and the jersey retirement today?
Yeah, what a great day for the organization, and I'm humbled and honored to be a part of it. Of course, I wasn't in the W, when she played, but I've always been a huge fan. I mean, who isn't? And there's been some incredible, legendary players in our league that have been Sparks, and Hall of Famers. And Candace is right there, and I, only player to Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same year. I mean, that's crazy. And championship here, and I've just always been such a huge fan. And so what I hope our players take from this is the legacy that is being a Spark. And there's been some incredible women that have put on that jersey, and it's our job to carry that torch forward and to get this franchise back where it belongs. And CP's a great reminder of that, the greatness that was her and the greatness that the Sparks were. And so that's what I hope our team can kind of take that in while still focusing on what we're trying to do.
And do you have a particular memory either from a meeting with her or watching her games?
I remember her in college, just being Tennessee fan, and when that was in my early 20s, and I wanted to be Pat Summitt. I didn't get there, but I was just always a fangirl of Pat Summitt, and I remember her last game when she came off the floor and was crying, and Pat's on. There's some vivid memories of her college career, but just what a winner! And everywhere she went, she won, and that's not all of us can say that.
We'll go to Bill Plaschke on your right side.
Coach Bill Plaschke, LA Times. Are you confident the culture is changing around here, and what signs do you see that it is changing?
Culture from a franchise?
Yes.
Yeah, I am. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't here before, so I don't know. I've heard, but I know that there is an unbelievable commitment from our owners to get this franchise back, and that was the reputation maybe is like, oh, they're not investing in the program or the franchise like other teams are now, and you're seeing that. And I think our owners have been unbelievable, and they've stepped up at every turn to support us in a way for what it takes to get to the top. And so with that, I think that it trickles down to everybody. And Reagan Peebley, our GM, Christine Munger, the president, we're all aligned, and that's why I'm here. I'm not here just because I wanted to be in the W. I want to be somewhere where culture first. You attract the best players by having a place where you take care of your people and win along the way. So without question, things have shifted. I know that from players that have been here. And so I'm, again, humbled and honored to be a part of it, and that's why I'm here.
First row, John.
Coach John W. Davis with the Southern California News Group. What type of mentality do you want your team to play with, being that this is the second time in just a matter of days that you played the Sky, and the first time you were up big and ended up losing?
Yeah, and we played them here and won. It's crazy that the schedule is interesting, and I'm learning it, where you can play teams back to back like this, and we still haven't played several teams at all. This will be our third time playing Chicago. The mentality is this is a must win, and we want to make the playoffs, and we've got to start winning now. The urgency is now. So the mindset, I don't want to be outcome driven totally, but doing what it takes to play with the intensity it's going to take to win.
You bet. Hey, Coach, Jackie Ray TV and Women's Hoops. You talked about you wanted to peak in August.
Yeah.
We're a day away, getting close to July. How close do you feel that you are to peaking?
I don't think we're close. We're still missing Ray Burrell. We're still missing Cameron Brink. Those guys will be back. Ray will be back soon. Cameron will be back soon too, sooner than, soonish, maybe it's a good way to say it. And so once we get those guys back and in the rotation, then I think we're gonna be, we've had, part of our inconsistency on the floor has been inconsistency with our roster, right? So we've had people in and out and hurt and back and then, out, and that's hard. But we're learning from it and we're getting tougher because of it. And a really emphasis of control what you can control. So have we come close to peaking? No, I don't think so.
Coach, the Sparks are shooting 40% from 3 in wins and 30% in losses. What's the key to generating the kind of looks you want on the perimeter?
I like this stat, good one. I'm a numbers gal. I think that the shooting percentage is a direct correlation to shot quality. So the best kind of threes from an analytics standpoint are paint, touch, kick out, catch and shoot threes. Those are the best percentage. So if we can generate more of those, so self-created threes off the dribble are the worst kind of threes to take from the numbers. So if we're doing a lot of that, our shooting percentage is going to be bad. And then losing, the games we have lost, our offense has been, I always say the ball gets sticky. It's not moving. And I think our shooting percentage in those games is directly related to that. So we've got to create shots for each other, create those inside-out catch and shoot threes.
Last question, Jim Alexander.
Yeah, Jim Alexander from the Southern California News Group. You talked a moment ago about Candice and about the legacy of being a Spark.
Yeah.
Do you get the sense that your current players are aware of that, recognize that, embrace it, or is it just something that happened in the past?
That's a great question. I think they do. Yeah, I think they do, and I think that's why KP came. The legacy that it is of the LA Sparks, and there's other reasons. Obviously, she's from San Diego, whatever. But we're one of the OG franchises, right? And there's some responsibility that comes with that as a player, as a coach. So yeah, I do think they do. I haven't asked, but we talked yesterday when we circled up after about what it means to put on the Spark jersey, and the great ones that have put it on before, the nets that have been cut down in that jersey, and it's our responsibility to get it back that way.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you all for being here. Let's go.
See you after.
Hey man, shout out to the world's greatest athlete in the history of sports, in my opinion, CP3. My ace, Candice Parker. If you can do this with the camera, hey, scroll down with the camera if you can. Can you, any way you can scroll down? Keep going. Keep going. You see these right here? The Captain Marvels, because she is a she-hero. She is a super she-hero. Like, literally, she's like a Marvel character. She does everything great. She's a fantastic human being. She's got superpowers. From one of the Avengers himself, CP3, I love you. Shout out to you.
LA Sparks Weekly fans, it is a big day. Candice Parker's jersey is being retired. So we got the big boss on the show today, Sparks GM, Reagan Peebley. Reagan, what does this day mean for you in the organization?
Well, first of all, you're the big boss. I've seen what you've been doing out there with your racing, and it's pretty big time, so congratulations to you. But I think in general, Candice Parker is, I know she's number 3, not to be cheesy, but she is one of one. And what she's done for this game, and when I say game, I don't mean just women's basketball. I mean basketball is tremendous. Very few people have been as transformational, I think, as she has. But also how she's opened doors for people in all rooms. And I think when I watch how Candice has moved throughout her career, I do literally think she has modeled what Pat Summitt did. Pat Summitt not only gave women a seat at the table in athletic departments, but she gave them roles to make decisions. She gave women seats at the table in corporate spaces. And I think Candice has done the exact same thing.
And so we were just talking about Adidas and Candice. Can you talk about what that partnership means for women's basketball, and specifically for like women who leave the game and have to find placements and employment outside of that?
Well, now again, you look at Candice is leading Adidas basketball. So I think, again, she's finding opportunities, I think, to impact at the highest levels and continue to grow her reach. And what I also understand and know about Candice is she's interested in is showing up in a real way, that not just for show, not just to have her face on something and make it look like it's just an endorsement. She's out there doing the work, and she's really making a huge difference, and that's our ace, right? That's what she does.
And let's talk about the impact of the Sparks that are behind us, right? Candace Parker put on that jersey. What do you think the team feels like today, and what impact has the organization talked to them about, like what it means to actually put on that Sparks jersey?
Well, we've tried to do a lot to try to really put our arms around our alumni, and there's a lot of really exciting more things to come in that space. Christine Monger, our president, heads that charge, and then we also have Nat White, Rickea Jackson, who are working really hard to just build those relationships back up with our alumni. These players, though, they want to honor them. And it's not just on a day like today, it's all the time. There is a lot of discussion about pulling our crown out of the closet and polishing it off. And that's a crown that they created, that people like Candace Parker wore proudly, and we want to make sure we're honoring them.
You heard it here first, LA Sparks Weekly fans. We are OG franchise. We're taking that crown off and honoring one of our queens today. Thank you so much, Reagan. Stay tuned for more exclusive content of Candace Parker's jersey retirement.
Hey, this is to the homie, CP3, Candace Parker. Hey, congratulations. This is long overdue. You've been a staple here. From Staples to crypto, you are the epitome of what the Sparks have meant to the W. Congratulations on your retirement. All of your accolades don't do enough to say how much we all feel about you here at Crypto. And as a Sparks fan for life, congratulations, Candace. What's up, LA Sparks fans? I know, another tough one tonight. We went from celebrating, turning up, having a good time, celebrating the great Candace Parker's jersey retirement, to the Sparks fading in the fourth quarter, letting another one go.
Yep.
That's two straight for the Chicago Sky against the Sparks. DJ, Angel Reese and them girls got it done, man. What did you see tonight?
You know what? People talk crap about Angel Reese and throwing that ball up, but it's hard to defend because as soon as that ball touched that girl fingertips, she throwing it up. It was a great show. I haven't stopped celebrating. It was a great jersey retirement. The vibes were good. So even though the Sparks didn't get the win, that ain't even my focus today.
Okay.
I saw all my homies. We saw so many Sparks veterans in the building. Man. It was a great day to be a Sparks fan.
No, yeah, like the energy was one of the best that I've seen in years.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the only time it may have been top was Brittany Griner's return game because Kamala was here, or Caitlin Clark's first time in here. But tonight it was turned up to a whole nother level
for Candace Parker. You love the appreciation that she got. Hopefully that can help her start showing up a little more. Like her, big sis.
She busy
Lisa
though.
Leslie. Oh yeah, busy.
She be busy.
Busy
Adidas
woman
basketball.
doing her thing, but the energy was great. So it kind of gave you a playoff feel whenever the Sparks were going to run, crowd going crazy. But they just couldn't find a way. And you mentioned Angel Reese, 24, 16, and 7. People be going crazy on Angel Reese.
Yes, they do.
And it's just a bunch of haters.
Yep.
That girl can ball.
She can.
That lefty gets to the rack. She can play make. And it's like with Cardoza out the way because she's gone, Angel looks even better.
She looked better because Cardoza is a little slower.
Yeah.
Like it just coming down the floor. So Angel Reese, she
calls
got a
the
double
paint.
dime passes.
Yep.
I mean, this really was a great showing by the Chicago Sky, as well as Ariel Atkins. There are a lot of different people, Rachel Banham.
Yep.
So the Chicago Sky seem like they're a bottom team, but that's just like every team in the WNBA, y'all. If you look at the rosters and look at the stats, you might think that some of these teams are on the bottom because they're bad. And no, they have phenomenal players.
Yeah.
They should be better on paper.
How tough the league
The
is.
league is tough. That's what I'm.
And that's why the Sparks, they're not coming out here and just getting beat down to where you're like, wait, they got no chance.
Yeah.
They're in most of these games.
For sure.
know?
Most of them. Like, they only got blown out maybe once or
one
twice.
Game, I can only remember one game to where from the beginning you're like, oh, this is over.
Yep.
But once again, one of those games tonight where just things went wrong. Third quarter, they make a run, they take the lead.
Yep.
But then fourth quarter, they start off
Just
stagnant.
crazy. They started letting three-pointers hit. I think it was also like the moment Rickea Jackson didn't have a great game.
Nah, not at
we need
all.
Rickea to play well. We need Odyssey
They
Sims
gotta
to play
find a
well.
way and I was talking to a friend of the show, John W. Davis of the Southern Cal Sports Group, and I'm like, hey, how do you get Rickea going and Kelsey? Because I haven't seen a game where they both went crazy. Usually it's Kelsey going crazy or Rickea dropping 30 points. I think that's something Coach Roberts has to figure out.
I don't think it's on Coach Roberts because the ball was in Rickea's hands enough. She missed a lot of easy ones.
Yeah.
So you gotta also think about the shooting efficiency. And I'm not saying that Coach Roberts couldn't be a little bit better. I just don't think this was her game for us to like nail her to the cross for that because there were a lot of missed layups, a lot of missed middies, a lot of last minute passes. Like you standing right underneath the rim and then you pass the ball out. You can't blame your coach that you ain't getting no layup. You feel me? So I think it's some of those, but I think the players are internalizing it. They're hearing what the fans are saying, what their coaching staff is saying, and they know ultimately it falls on them to play better.
Yeah, and they got to do their thing. We talked about it before the show. Shout out another friend of the show, our guy Edwin Garcia. It's like, hey, when they make 40% of their threes, they win.
Yep.
They make only 30%, they lose. Tonight they shot 32.1, and a lot of that was some shots they made late.
Yep.
But 9 for 28 from 3 is just
That's
not
rough.
going to cut it because there are some open threes, like 0 for 4, I believe, for Sarah Ashley Barker for 3.
Yeah.
Rickea
KP
was
had
0 for
2 back-to-back.
Yeah,
She had 2 back-to-back that were
late.
wide open looks
she
late that
missed
would have like nailed the game, but we're just not shooting effectively. So I think it's totally unfair to call this a coaching thing. I don't know if Coach Roberts could have coached any different. You got to hit the shot.
And that's what the question comes down to. Like, it's players. Players got to play. Players got to show up and hoop.
Yep.
They got to do their part to help their team win. And so right now, after picking up a nice win versus the Fever, they didn't show up tonight. But don't just listen to us. As always, we got you covered with the presser. Emma Cannon was there.
Yeah.
And the presser, she went crazy tonight, 3 for 3 from 3. And we also have Coach Roberts as well and De'Erica Hamby. Check this out.
John W. Davis with the Southern California News Group. This one's for Emma. Emma, talk about the impact you were able to make off the bench, and then from your veteran perspective, why do you feel like the team wasn't able to sustain that third quarter throughout the rest of the game?
When I have the opportunity to come in, I just try to come in and do what I can to help my team get a win. I always, stay ready so I don't have to get ready. It's tough. But I feel like every loss is a lesson, and I feel like we're still building and we're going to get to where we need to be, but, we just have to take these losses and we have to turn them into something positive.
Thank you, Jay.
Hey, this question's for De'Erica, DJ from LA Sparks Weekly. De'Erica, you had a double-double today. Can you talk about just the intensity we saw, some chippy moments? Can you talk about the physical play today?
I mean, I think it's always physical, and I think both ways it was physical tonight. But I feel like I was more intentional, being assertive, demanding my spots, and getting hit from the high low for my teammates. And obviously, we'd love to have a win.
But I mean, if I can consistently play like that, I think we'll be in good shape.
Thank you.
First row on the other side, Jackie.
And I want to piggyback the Jackie with Jackie Ray TV. I want to piggyback on what you just said. You guys are learning and getting better. Can you kind of reflect and look back earlier in the season to where you are now and tell me what you see that's much better now?
I feel like our chemistry is getting better. I feel like a lot of people don't understand, but this is a brand new team, a lot of new pieces that came in the off season. So we really have been together for, like almost 2 months now. So like we're still getting to learn each other, but I do definitely feel like our chemistry is better on and off the court. And once we figure things out, once it starts clicking, I feel like it's gonna be scary.
Anthony DeLeon, LA Times. Coach, coming into this game, you mentioned that this was a must-win. Obviously, you guys came a little bit later to the presser. I would assume there's a lot of conversation going on after the game. What are you telling your team in this moment to kind of just keep their heads up and try to push forward from this?
Yeah, I mean, it's when I say must win, I mean like it's not over, like the season's not done. I just mean there has to be an intensity of like we got to approach this thing like we got to have it, build on the last win, that kind of thing. So I don't want to get that misconstrued as to what I meant. I know I said that, but my intention with that. We just got to be tougher. We've got to be tougher. Sustain runs, handle adversity, handle performance issues or bad calls or whatever. In this league, the tougher team wins, and I don't just mean physically.
Hi, Coach. Charlotte Moore with FI360 News. You had a moment on the sideline where you got a chance to, during the game, talk to Candice.
Yeah.
Just wanted to see if would you care to share what was being said.
Well, she commented on that I was able to coach in heels. So we talked about our outfits. So it was very high intense. No, but it was great to see her, and what a great the bigger victory today is the celebration of her, and we would have loved, I think we all wanted to win for her, so it's disappointing, it's kind of extra disappointing, but I don't want our play to take away from what an incredible human being and basketball player Candice is, and what she has meant to our sport, and to all of us. And she has her name written on all over our game. And so today again bummed we couldn't get the win for her, but that doesn't take away what an incredible day. I thought our org put on an amazing thing for her, and really showed out, and we had a great crowd, and again it's just bummed that we couldn't do our part, but it doesn't take away from her.
Michael Matthew, LA Sparks Weekly. This is for De'Erica or Emma. Third quarter, you guys kind of got some things going there offensively to kind of take a little control of the game, but then fourth quarter to start off, it got a little stagnant. I believe you guys were stuck at 4 points in the quarter, the first 4 minutes of it. Was it something that they were able to do defensively to take some things away that worked, or was it just down to you guys not executing and not making shots?
Honestly, I just feel like we have to learn how to finish games, and it's not necessarily what the other team does. It's just about us actually digging in and buying in and finishing it. So, like I said, that's something that we're working on. We've been playing great 30 minutes, but we have to put it all together.
Minister like LA Sentinel. I just want you all, if you have any moments that you had with Candice Parker, if you could reflect on any good moments that you had with her during your
Yeah, for me, I came into the league and I think I had my second year, and Candice, she's always been like a mentor for me in that way. She made being a mom cool, and that it was possible to do both. I got drafted after not expecting to really play basketball after college, and having your first kid, you don't really know what to expect, and if you can continue to play, and so she's always just kind of inspired me in that way, and so yeah, I'm grateful for her and our friendship.
Yeah, Steve Finley, Culver City Papers. For the coach, I know this is your first year coaching. in the WNBA, but are you surprised how physical the WNBA is?
That's a trick question, man. You set me up. It is insanely physical. You hear it.
Especially this year.
Yeah, it seems, and the players are so explosive and powerful and strong and aggressive. And so I think it's a hard game to officiate in terms of that, but I think, we got to decide, are we going to let it be physical or are we going to not? And players will adapt. Yes, it's surprisingly physical.
Last couple of questions here, Justin.
This is for any of you. Emma, you mentioned every loss is a lesson. Coach, you've talked about how you guys have to get tougher, not just physically. These types of lessons, how do you guys turn these lessons into wins, essentially? Because I know there's the old adage, there's wins and there's lessons, but how do you turn the lessons to where after games you're speaking positive about a win?
It's a choice. It's a choice. You can, when you're hit with adversity or you lose, when it, you don't perform the way you want to, it's a choice as to how you approach it. And there is no magic formula. You either choose to learn and look in the mirror, myself included, and say, all right, where can I be better? Where did I fall short? And not, find excuses or blame or whatever. And that's a choice. So I'm not going to change in terms of my mentality. The sun's going to come up tomorrow and we're going to attack the next opponent. I will look in the mirror and where could I have been better today? And I'm sure there's plenty, right? And the players need to do the same. And that's a choice.
Third row here, right side.
Hi, so as today was Candace Parker's jersey retirement, both Emma and De'Arca, can you speak to if she's had an impact on your style of play?
I would say for me, she made it, cool, not just to be a parent, but also like to be a post player and be able to shoot the three, man, and bring the ball up and not just be put in a box. So she allowed me to broaden my game, and I love that, and I appreciate her for that.
Last question, David.
For De'Arca, you've obviously been on winning teams before, and you've mentioned earlier this season how, building those kind of habits does take time. And as Emma said, you've only been together for a couple of months. Just, I guess, what have you seen from this group in terms of those kind of habits? What kind of, I guess, positives things that you've seen that this group's been able to put together?
I think starting from the top, the belief that our coach and our GM have in what we're doing and what we're building. And I think it doesn't happen overnight, and I mean that's not we're not falling on that or trying to use that as an excuse, but it is the reality of the situation. But I mean we're seeing other teams kind of do the same thing, so we can't continue to. We see brand new teams that are winning, so we can't continue to use that as a crutch.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Joshua would like us to be done. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, see you later.
Nice to meet you.
Right there.
Thanks for coming out. God bless you today.
Trying to stop it for you.
We're back, so we just heard from Emma Cannon, De'Arca Hamby, and Coach. Once again, they don't sound like a group that's deflated. They sound like a group that's like you guys watching.
Mm-hmm.
We trying to figure this thing out too.
Yeah.
So, but it was good to see Emma Cannon up there.
Click Cannon.
She had the game of her season, 15 points, 6 for 7 from the field, 3 for 3. What did you like from Emma Cannon tonight?
You
DJ?
know, you gotta love when the bench shows up.
Yeah.
I always look at the stats at the end of the game, and usually we getting spanked because the other team, people are coming off the bench and nobody's on our bench because everybody's hurt.
Yep.
So you love to see a player like Emma Cannon come off the bench, score 15 points, have a great attitude, great vet, leading in the locker room as well, encouraging her teammates to keep throwing that ball up. Mama D right on the side of her, double game. She says she just want to keep playing like she normally play.
Yep.
You love when vets be vets. They're pros. I think think this team is going to turn it around. I would.
You got to get healthy.
I know you got to get healthy, but we also have to just execute a little bit better.
Yep.
So I want to put myself on camera here because people always try to throw the receipts back at me. But this team is going to get better. This LA Sparks, this isn't the end of our story here yet this season.
Yep.
So give them a chance to kind of turn the tides. I'm excited to see this team play outside of All-Star break.
No, yeah, and, I expect some really good basketball. 3 players shine bright tonight.
Yep.
With De'Erica, with Azare, with Kelsey Plum, and then, of course,
Emma
off the bench. But they need more. Like, when you see most of these teams, they're getting more. And it don't have to just be buckets.
Yeah.
It can be defense.
It can be any,
you know what I'm
of
saying?
those
Just
things.
bringing that energy to help lift your team up. And when you give up 90 points in the W, most likely you are going to lose.
Yep.
So they got to figure it out defensively. But, hey, DJ, before we get out of here, still was a great day today.
Yep.
Got that number 3 up there. We're going to make sure my guys zoom in on that before we leave. But that number 3 up there, who was your player of the game tonight in the Candace Parker game?
No need to change my player of the game because it's Azare Z. Stevens. I'm going to tell you why. We always talking about defense wins, games, and all of this. She had 2 timely back-to-back blocks that showed that we were still being aggressive and that we were still in the game. So I don't care what the box score say today. I'm going off energy and vibes. Azare putting that hand up there and letting that girl know, not in my house. 2 times back-to-back. Azare, you get the player of the game again.
For me, I'm going to go with a newbie. Emma Cannon, man. Got to show love. 6 for 7 once again. 3 for 3 from 3. When you see her play, you like, she got the form.
Yep.
She just got to trust it and knock them down. Today she finally did it. So let's see if she can keep this going and be a added weapon off the bench, with her physicality, her toughness, and the way that she can knock down that jump shot when it's going. So those are our player of the games, man. The Sparks, they get a little break. They get some time off. They'll be back Thursday, but they're going to be in New York versus the Liberty. So they got a tough one coming up.
I don't know. The New York Liberty been getting spanked.
I mean,